Hello, this is the Tradesight Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Wednesday, August 7th, 2013. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal 11. Rich is on vacation this week. Here's a look at the S&P 500 daily chart, and as we talked about yesterday, the fact that we've been banging against the underside of this uptrend line for a while. We got to 11 bars up, we need 13 for an actual sell signal. But we are starting to roll over. Monday was a real flat day. We did have the terror warning globally that might have slowed things down, but we've just been stuck under this line. You know, it's hard to justify the push higher above it, and just drifting underneath it isn't very exciting. So, you know, as I said last night, more than likely you start to roll over instead. I would like to get that 13 sell signal in place, and we can do that by dropping a couple days and then running back up just a bit and print the 13 and then roll over. It can happen in a variety of ways, but I'd love to see the actual signal before we just roll. At any rate, today was a downward day on Tuesday with the S&P and the NDX both losing ground, and we are under that trend line. Here's the NDX, and keep in mind, as we talked about last night, we did have that 13 sell signal on Friday, so Monday was a measuring day, and Tuesday has been the rollover day potentially. So let's take a look now at the stocks. The semiconductor index rolled a little bit. It's been pretty flat for the last few months, not really a market-leading sector right now. Biotechs did roll, though, and this is an important one. As go banks and biotechs, so go the market is the saying. So goes the market, and you can see we did roll over here a bit. So that's a negative. There's Apple. I pointed out Apple last night had 9 bars up yesterday on the daily chart, which is here. It also had a 13 seeker sell signal on the 30-minute chart and a 13 Comer sell signal on the 15-minute chart, all of which adds up to a lot of negativity. And with that, we had a real nice play today in Apple. I'm going to make a separate video of that shortly, but we had a nice short that played out for about 5 points on Apple. I was really trying to find an entry there, and we found sort of the ideal spot. Let's also take a look at Amazon, just drifting here, but certainly under 295. It's got some room to come back. It will have support at that 285 level. There's not a lot of room to the downside right away on Amazon unless the market gets pretty negative. Netflix actually had a positive 2 days in a row, which is nice for Netflix, and Google has been basing very nicely. You know, the next breakout on Google, when it happens, takes it to 1,000 most likely, so it's going to be interesting to see what we get there. Let's take a look real quick at oil and gold. Here's the crude oil QM contract. Pulled back a little bit the last few days, down to 105.67. Would not expect this to fall apart right now at this time of year. If anything, it'll probably be September or so before we see any pullback there. Just for fun, let me show you last year around this time. Oil prices tend to rise. We did last year get a 13 buy signal in June on the crude oil contract. That ended up turning the market, and that was the low for that point in time, basically the low for the year. We did run up in July and August, as we usually do. So this isn't usually a month where you're going to get a significant pullback. Sometime in September, things tend to top out, and that's what happened last year around September 15th. So this year, even though we haven't had a single seeker actual signal all year, we are up in July and August, I would say, to hold this area in general and maybe push higher. Maybe ultimately in September we get a 13 sell signal, and that would be good timing on the crude oil front. Let's take a look at gold, which also dropped today a bit. Okay, coming in slightly. So obviously following this downtrend line that's been in place for a while. So that's what we saw today in the market. It was a decent day in terms of volume, back to almost 5 billion shares on the NASDAQ, which is better than the 1.3 we saw on Monday's, what I call debacle, just such a flat, boring session on Monday. But we did expect this week coming in for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to be the better trading days. So far that is true. The trade balance number didn't mean that much to the market. And in terms of data coming out in the session ahead, we don't really have that much. There's really nothing to look forward to here in the market in terms of economic data for Wednesday. Now, if we look out a little bit later in the week, you know, that might change, and let me show you what that looks like right here. Okay. Sorry, take a second for it to load up. So today we had the trade balance number. Tomorrow morning, crude oil inventories, consumer credit in the afternoon. Thursday, initial claims, continuing claims in natty gas. Actually, I'm sorry, we really don't even have much to show you. Friday, wholesale inventories. That's not that interesting either. So this is just a pure trading week without news to worry about or think about. We will be calling it as we see it in the lab as usual. Hope you have a great trading week.